where Colin was right?
Well, I've said about Caleb Williams, we're getting too caught up on his completion percentage. Well, what do you know? Most bets to be MVP next season from not just the Joes, but the pros. Not just the squares, but the sharps. What they're telling you is completion percentage matters, but not as much as Caleb Williams' critics are saying. He has a very low interception rate. He didn't throw them in high school, college, or in the pros. He doesn't throw a lot of picks, and he can make so many redeemable plays off script that completion percentage is not the be-all, end-all. I felt this for years on Josh Allen as well.
Okay, guys, I've had this conversation so many times. We can support Caleb Williams and not be a critic of his, and still want him to improve his accuracy, therefore his completion percentage. I've already done the deep dives because people always try to say like, oh no, it's the route running or it's the drops or it's this or that. His accuracy is low. His on-target percentage is incredibly low. And it's not just, that he's throwing 30-yard passes and whatnot. He needs to be more accurate, and what's at stake is literally a Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. That's why it matters. That's why it's okay to talk about. And I hate the idea of downplaying that, because you then are perceived as a critic or a hater, or you're afraid that, fans are going to get upset. No, it matters because what's at stake is literal greatness. Literal greatness. Accuracy matters. People, you say it was overblown with Josh Allen. People think that if Josh Allen was more accurate against the Denver Broncos, they win. Okay. So, no. What's at stake is you become the 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 Kansas City Chiefs. That's what you become. A high-powered, explosive offense. There were some huge plays that, yes, Caleb Williams made in the playoffs that if he actually was able to be more accurate, the team would have never even been in that situation to even need those plays. That's the point. That's the point. So it's just like, listen, just because some other people maybe say completion percentage as a reference point as to why he'll never be a good quarterback or something, I don't care about that view, because that's nonsense to me. But to try to pretend like this doesn't matter, or that he doesn't need to significantly, yes, I said it, significantly improve his accuracy. It's just you're doing a disservice. I guarantee you he knows it. Ben Johnson knows it. Colin went on a whole rant before where he's like, I'm only as hard on Caleb as Ben Johnson is. And I was like, yeah, that's the way that I look at it, the lens that I look at it through as well. And so trying to just hide behind, well, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, that's great. But he left about 7 points on the board a game. Seriously, that's the way I looked at it. I looked at it through the whole course of the season. I said from my viewpoint, the Bears are leaving around a touchdown or so on the field a game. That's massive. There were so many big play opportunities. And again, Collinsworth pointed it out many times. Collinsworth pointed out, I think maybe it was against I forget which playoff game, but it was one of them. And also during the regular season, they obviously they were a hot team. So we got Tom Brady, Romo. I don't know if we got Romo, but Tom Brady, Greg Olsen, Collinsworth, etc. etc. No, everybody really loved when a man commentated, but I mean, there was many plays where they're just like, man, if Caleb just hits that, the receiver, the running back, tight end, whoever is still running to this day. Legend has it, he's still running. And those are the things that you gotta hit. You hit those. This team is madness. That's really the whole point that I keep trying to drive home, that they will be able to play within structure so much more. And so, just because he's the most bet to win right now, the MVP, one that's based on the idea that he's going to significantly improve, and now that it's going to be year 2 with Ben Johnson, I don't understand the whole where Colin was right here. I don't know what that doesn't really make sense to me. That really doesn't, I don't see how this leads to, see, I was right. What are you right about? And then, and again, I don't really blame Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams threw the interception to lose the game against the Rams, And again, I don't blame Caleb for that at all. and Caleb had that spectacular play that he had, but because he threw an inaccurate ball a play or two before that and he bailed himself out, if you think he's going to be able to make one of the greatest plays we've ever witnessed, every single game, I don't know what to tell you. And what happens when some of that magic runs out? What happens to Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes? We're watching it. Their team struggles. What happens when the team can play, when the quarterback can play within the system and be accurate? You get to Super Bowls. You get to Super Bowls. And that's what kind of drives me crazy about some of this conversation, because Colin went on a whole rant praising Sam Darnold about how great of a game manager he was and how important that is. And it's like, yeah, Caleb needs to become better game manager. If Caleb can become an elite game manager, then Caleb becomes one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like, that's what's at stake. That's why I hate downplaying this conversation. And the Chicago Bears, therefore, have the potential to build a dynasty. If not, now this isn't a value judgment on this quarterback. I'm just using them as a reference point for what they were able to accomplish so far and achieve. You become the Baltimore Ravens. Do you want to be the Kansas City Chiefs, or do you want to become the Baltimore Ravens? You tell me. You want your quarterback to have some amazing, flashy highlights and some incredible moments and some awesome stats, or do you want them to win Super Bowls? You tell me. And again, I'm not blaming Lamar or anything like that. I'm just saying there's the two paths in the NFL. When you have a great coach, great quarterback, and you have the ability to be special, you can become the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, or you become, I don't know, the Chargers, the Ravens, depending on what era we're talking about now. You're like, yeah, it was a spectacular throw. That was a spectacular season. Didn't get the job done. More often than not, these big games are won not just because of that spectacular throw, that spectacular play, that spectacular scramble. It's really not. We focus on that. We magnify that, but then we forget all the other just checkdowns, nice little 8-yard pass that turns into a 12-yard gain. 3rd and 4 that you got 10 yards now. Like it's moving the chains, being smart. Like it's just smart, high quality football. That's literally how the Seattle Seahawks won for the entire second half of the season. It was not the explosive plays to Jackson Smith and Jigba or Kupp or anything like that. It really wasn't. Same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. The Chiefs before the year before that. Where was the spectacular plays from Patrick Mahomes in 2023? Really? Where are the spectacular plays in the Super Bowl? I don't remember them. I don't remember them at all. And in fact, in 2022 when he played the Eagles, I remember him just hitting wide open receivers. So just because at times you can overcome some of the limitations or some of the mistakes doesn't mean that those limitations or mistakes don't need to be the hyper-focus. And make no mistake about it, Josh Allen significantly improved his accuracy. And that coincided with him being the best quarterback in the NFL and being the monster that he is. He is not the monster that he is. If you cut like 5% from his accuracy, he's just not. It's really, honestly, genuinely that straightforward to me. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams and his potential to become the MVP and therefore the Bears being a top team in the NFL? That's also the big thing too. If you think that he's going to be the MVP, then you are banking on the Bears being top 1, top 2 contender. Make no mistake about it. That is what the trend is. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get to some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time. See you.